Ocala Ground, Cirrus 952 Sierra Bravo, IFR to Naples, ready to copy.
Number 952 Sierra Bravo is cleared to the Naples Airport via direct Varzy intersection, then direct Lakeland, Victor 521 to Quincy, then direct. Maintain 2000, expect 90,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 118.6, squawk 6205.
All right, 952 Sierra Bravo, cleared to Naples via direct to Varzy, Lakeland, Victor 521, Quincy, 2000, 90,000, 10 minutes after, 118.6, 6205. We have India Shelter ready to taxi.
952 Sierra Bravo, readback is correct. Taxi runway 36 via taxiway Alpha.
36 via Alpha, 952 Sierra Bravo. Don't you just love the words, readback correct? What is happening, M0A Nation? Jason Shepard here. You heard the IFR clearance. It's all about IFR flying all this month. And speaking of that, did you know we're giving away an iPad this month? Head over to m0acontest.com just during the month of October, October 2023. You have to the end of the month, close to the end of the month, to get in there. I think it's till the 30th. To get in there and get entered, then we'll be giving it away via our big live streams we've been doing at the end of each month. Link in the description down below. Be sure to like and subscribe as well. So today, although we started out with an IFR clearance, an IFR clearance isn't totally our topic, but it's a part of our topic today. Our topic is an IPC, or an Instrument Proficiency Check. Show of hands, let me know in the comments down below who has ever done an Instrument Proficiency Check. In plain English, what is it? It's kind of like a flight review for your IFR flying. It's how you get current again, assuming we don't meet the currency requirements for instrument flying. And what can we expect on an IPC? Well, actually, the FAA does a very, very good job of spelling it all out for us. If you head over to Advisory Circular 61-98 Delta, which is current as of this recording here, we can kind of see everything, and actually in the back here, they give us a great little checklist, as you'll see, of kind of everything that you're going to do. This is back into Appendix J. You can see really a checklist of everything that they're going to want to go through. So maybe while it's on your screen, grab a screenshot here real quick. But let's take it even a step further. Like, what do we actually expect? Let me scroll all the way back to the beginning. Here we go. Of my Advisory Circular, Chapter 5, the Instrument Proficiency Check. And this is written really, it's written to a CFI. How should a CFII, in this case, administer an IPC? But how great is it for you as the student or as the recipient of this IPC to really understand what's going to be asked of you? So I made a few highlights on here that you can see. Look at 5.1.1. The flight instructor must hold an appropriate instrument rating in his or her pilot certificate and flight instructor certificate that is appropriate for the category and class. You're saying, okay, that makes sense, but this is a popular question here. For an example, an IPC conducted in a multi-engine airplane requires the flight instructor to hold both multi-engine and instrument ratings on his or her pilot and flight instructor certificate. So multi-engine pilots, make sure you're understanding that. There's some pre-check considerations in here as well, and I love this line here that I have highlighted. You are, as the CFI, you are to tailor the check to the needs of the pilot. How cool is that, right? This is meant to be that I don't have, if I do a flight review or an IPC for someone, people say, well, what's it going to be like? It's going to be different for everybody. If your primary mission is you flying from Naples to Ocala, like I'm doing right now all the time, well, guess what? We're probably not going to do Naples to Ocala. I want to take you out of your comfort zone and do something a little bit different because it's easy. You know the frequencies, you know the runways, I want to take you to some different airports and get you outside of your comfort zone doing something different. Or maybe you say, hey, I got this new job in Ocala, and I'm going to be flying to Ocala a lot. I want to get familiar with it. Then we could go do that. So you customize it to the actual student, to the actual learner. 5.133. As with a flight review, there's that comparison again, the flight instructor should develop a plan of action that uses realistic scenarios to organize and sequence the required tasks and maneuvers, like we talked about in the appendix there. We're going to customize it to them. It needs to be scenario-based. It needs to be realistic here, but the instructor should develop a plan of action. if you have an IPC coming up, or a flight review for that matter, you need to be asking the bold phrase is like, hey, what's the plan of action? Just so I can know how to prepare, because I know every IPC is different. I know every flight review is different. How can I be preparing? The instructors, the FAA is asking you instructors, so CFIs listen, you should have a plan of action. And you really can't have a generic plan of action. You can maybe start with a generic one and then customize it for each individual learner. Some other notes here. Determining the pilot's IFR knowledge on, and you can look at that checklist again, but it's instrument en route procedures, weather information, pre-flight planning, aircraft systems, flight instruments, and navigation as well. Listen to this one. Airworthiness of the aircraft for instrument flight, talking grab card and these sort of acronyms you learn inside the M0A Instrument Online Ground School in there as well. ATC procedures, and listen to this last one, 8 there, aerodynamic principles related to angle of attack. Fascinating, right? Adding these things in here. There's some recent changes in here as well. How about for the IPC skill portion? Well, you saw all those skills listed there in the appendix that I first showed you. So we're talking about all our skills, aircraft flown to the ATC environment and following everything. Can the pilot safely operate under IFR in a broad range of conditions, appropriate for that aircraft flown, appropriate for the ATC conditions? And lastly, the big question everyone asks, can I fail an IPC? Can I fail a flight review, to add to that? The answer is no, and the FAA actually outlines it. Look at 5.4.1, unsatisfactory performance. As with a flight review, the flight instructor should not endorse the pilot's logbook to reflect the unsatisfactory IPC. Rather, the flight instructor should log the session as dual given. Hey, I'm sorry, I can't sign you off here today, but what I'm going to do here instead is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just log this as a training flight as some dual given, and we're going to work through it that way. So just something interesting from there. And of course, satisfactory performance goes through signing off, endorsing them, everything else from that standpoint. In IPC, your IPC should not be generic. It should be customized to each and every one. Can you fail one? No, you're gonna learn a bunch, is what's gonna really happen. Should you still be studying for it? Absolutely. Should you still be prepping for it? Absolutely. How do you do that? You pick up the phone, you call your flight instructor and say, hey, listen, I know this is a custom plan of action for me. I read the advisory circular. I just want to know what approaches can I expect, where are we going, roughly what types of questions you're going to be asking me. I'd really like to study for this thing. Obviously, hopefully you've listened to our Passenger Instrument Pilot Check Ride audiobook, these sort of things. That's all in the same vein that's going to help you out a ton with that. So who's done an IPC, passed one successfully, right? Given a lot. There's been times where I've been out of currency and proficiency. There's been times where I didn't even need an IPC legally by the FAA's terms, but I thought, you know what? I've got that big, long IFR cross country coming up. I really should get in there and get some extra practice, and no shame. You don't have to wait until your approaches expire or whatever it is to get in there and do an IPC. A good pilot is always learning after all, right? Hey, I can't wait to read your comments down below this video on YouTube, on Facebook, on m0a.com. Don't forget, we're giving away an iPad, m0acontest.com. I'm sure the links are in the description here as well. I believe you have until the 30th of October. If I'm wrong, the team will put a big banner over the screen saying, Jason is wrong. We'll fix that. That's totally okay. So listen, we'll be giving that away at the end of the month. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks for the likes, subscribes. Don't forget, if you need help with your online ground school, written test, check ride, being that safe real world pilot, m0atrial.com. Have a blessed, abundant, outstanding rest of your day. And most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you.